Good morning. I'm Emmanuel Officer, and I'd like to talk to you this morning about focus. Focus. Sometimes it's one of the hardest challenges in our lives is to stay focused. Sometimes we end up in bad situations because as we wander through our journey of life through the quantum entanglements, we fall off the driven path. We trip and fall up and we lose our focus. We've all done it before. How many times have you come in from a hard day's work and got down on your knees and began to pray, and then you start thinking about what you were going to wear to church tomorrow and what you were going to eat and what you were going to wear tomorrow and who you were going to talk to and speak to and who bills you had to pay. Your mind is all over the place. You lost focus. And what worse place to lose focus when you coming and bring your petition before the throne of God and you fall asleep? Did God even hear you? Or did you even get to that part because you lost focus? But focus has an enemy, and it's called distraction. And distraction will sidetrack you and prohibit you. It opens the door up for chaos, anarchy, and provocation. Now you're living someone else's washed out, failing dreams. It's not even your vision anymore. And sometimes when we get off, we have to embrace the idea of failing to try. Your failure should be fueled with inspiration, and the power of your intention should be to fulfill purpose and day season and your goals. But when you lose focus, you're off the track. And so now you got to get back on. Took you 10 seconds to say, I do. Took you 10 seconds to sign that contract and 20 years to get out of it because you were not focused. You lost your place. You got sidetracked because you were distracted by somebody else telling you, this is how you do it. No, do it like this. Instead of listening to your own vision that was put into you for how God gave it to you for how you were to do it. Nobody can tell you what your vision is. So how do you get out of it? Well, one thing you have to do, you have to get rid of anything that's cost effective. That means you have to get rid of anything that's causing you your effectiveness. So when you alleviate the things you don't need and you get rid of or eliminate the things you don't need, then your effectiveness is more powerful. You're more upfront with it. You can accomplish more things because you updated your contacts and you've laid aside some waste and you got rid of some things that you didn't need, that never needed to be in there in the first place. It took you 2 seconds to say, I do. 2 seconds to sign the contract and 20 years to get out of it because you didn't focus. See, time management is the controlling center of your focus. And the power of your intention is the pulse of what is in your head and what you're going to do. If it's not your intention, then you're not going to get to it. And you're just going to fail over and over and over again because you're zigging when you should zag. You're talking when you should shut up, shutting up when you should talk, moving when you should be still. And so you're always out of place because your focus is thrown off because you have been sidetracked, because you've been distracted. And you wake up 20 years later and you say, who are you? How did you get here? How did I get here? You let persons, places, and things in your life you never should have let in. You should have said no, but you said yes, and you let them get into your time management. Now you're 3 years behind where you should have been because you have lost focus and you're off track. So you gotta alleviate and eliminate anything that's dealing with your effectiveness. Now, just because you know it doesn't mean that you're expecting the purpose and your destiny to show up and do nothing and do it on its own. You have to show up. You have to do something about it. Remember, the premise of God's promise is predicated on you meeting his standards and his qualifications, the criteria of God. You know, there's an old saying that God helps them who helps themselves. Well, you got to do something on your part. You got to take all the exegetical tools in that you need so you can operate in what you need to bring your vision and to bring your dreams to fruition, or else you're going to just keep waking up to the same old washed out failing dreams, demented monsters, and unconstructed dream space. You've ever seen one of those buildings that they worked on and it sat there winter, spring, summer, and fall Never got finished. It never got built. That's unconstructed dream space. What happened? You got sidetracked. You lost focus. And now you're married to somebody you shouldn't be married to. You're dealing with somebody that has lost their last minds. They got mental issues. You got friends who are stabbing you in the back. You're dealing with evil communication that's tearing you down. Why? Simply because you got sidetracked and you got distracted. So you got to come to yourself. You got to get back online, and you have to alleviate everything that shouldn't be there. Eliminate everything that shouldn't. Get it all out. Get rid of all. And leaven used to be associated with sin. Get rid of all the leaven. Get all that out. A little yeast will spoil the whole loaf. What loaf of bread you're going to eat if you open it up and it's got mold on the inside? No, you're going to get rid of the whole loaf. You got to get rid of everything that's distracting you, that's throwing you off track, and come back and focus in what your purpose is, what your day season is, and what God has called you to do. Focus. God bless.